Well, here I am at Al Pugliese's. We just finished, Al just finished videoing me and Howard talking about the history of Howard Zane's layout. And Al doesn't live too far away, so on the way home, we decided we'd stop at Al's, and I can give you a quick overview of Al's layout. You know, he could talk about a few things here. And this Al was the, you told me which.
It's the Wilkins Rogers facility in downtown Ellicott City.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and that was kit bashed from a bunch of Walther's Geo Roberts kits.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I bought the Walther's electric kit. It was a flat kit, and Geo Roberts. And on the inside, I used a bunch of Lego parts and a bunch of electronic parts that I stole from my sons. Yeah, just to clutter up the interior. Because, you know, the inside of this building has all these weird looking, you know, machines.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
wanted to clutter up the inside of the building.
And this here is Ellicott City, Maryland.
Yep. And St. Paul's Church and College Avenue is there, and that's in the process of being built.
Now, is that an armory up at the top, or?
That's actually the Grayson condominiums in Ellicott City. It's the condominiums. It was a high school.
Oh, okay.
And they turned it into condominiums. And there's no windows in the front. It looks exactly like this.
Oh, okay.
But it's just a really cool place to live if you've got lots of money and you want to live in a really artsy place.
Yeah. And now you pretty much, most of these are scratch built, right? Your structures?
Yeah. The yellow one's a kit bashed South River Model Works.
Okay.
Robinson's Electric that I bought, and I added on the wings on each side to give it a little more length.
Yeah.
On that one.
So, and then your hotel up on the mountain here.
Yeah, those are built by Harry Clark. Those are models of the Deer Park Inns on the B&O Railroad back in the late 1890s. And they were built by Harry Clark, and I was able to acquire them. And there should be 3 of them, but for size sake, Harry only built the 2.
Right.
The one on the left is actually the middle hotel. The one on the right is the east wing. And then they had a one on the left, the west wing, looked exactly like the east wing.
Okay, cool.
So in real life, there were 3 of them, but, you know, for the room, I've got the 2.
Right, so we're going to walk on back here into a little cubby hole we have back here. Al's, we were just talking, his always need to be a little wider.
Yes, that's a huge mistake, folks. You've got to make wide enough aisles.
Right.
The building that you're coming up on is a copy of George Celios's Campbell's Soup building in his town of Franklin in South Manchester. I talked to George Celios, and he gave me permission to make a copy, kind of a copy of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you can see, well, you can't see, but the alleyways are quite narrow. So we come around here to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, well, Mount Rushmore of West Virginia, where Mount Rushmore should be. Harry Clark carved those heads. And I saw them and I said, I've got to figure out a way to use these on my layout. They're just too beautiful to go to waste. And I decided, well, what would it look like if it were in West Virginia? So I took the heads and stuck them in the Appalachia-looking scenery and came up with the Mount Rushmore of West Virginia. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Very cool. So,
in this town here, we were talking about earlier today over to Howard's, I didn't know what to name this town, and I've got a little mini dachshund dog named Winston, and my wife said, why don't you name the town Winston? So we named it after the dog, Winston. And it's going to be an interchange for the logging railroad.
Right.
It's going to be an interchange for the logging.
And Al and I were talking before we started shooting the video here that over here, he wanted to, this S-curve going into the tunnel here, or S-curve through the tunnel, has been problematic. So he's going to, in the future, kind of straighten the tracks out and put a pretty good sized trestle in here. So, or viaduct.
Yep.
So.
And then eventually This would be a scratch-built version of the, it's a crude picture, but that's the pulpwood mill in Spruce, West Virginia that was up near Cass. And this big log pond here you see.
Right.
So the pulpwood mill is what I'm going to build. So this structure here is just an old structure taking up some space. You had a good word for those. What do you call them? Space holders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Placeholders, really.
Placeholders.
Yeah. So, going on around,
Around here.
pretty much a double track main line the entire way, right?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
is that a branch line that runs through here?
Yeah, the logging lines point to point.
Okay. All
Comes up, you see it. It comes, swerves around and comes up this grade.
Gotcha.
And it'll go across the trestle down into the town of Winston where it interchanges for the logs.
Right. So, but he's got a lot of rock work here that almost very much like Howard's layout in a lot of ways, with the the scenery going ceiling to the floor.
There's a crazy story if you want to just pan into this bridge here. It's kind of a weird story. I was getting derailments inside. Was just a giant tunnel. And after 15 years of being in the house, there must have been some warpage or something on this. So I had to rip out to relay the track. And Howard Zane came over and said, well, why don't you put a viaduct in?
Okay.
So that's why there's the man I had to do it viaduct.
Okay. But viaduct, why not a chicken?
Yes.
So, the old Marx Brothers things. So.
Yes.
Anyway, Al's, they got some really neat structures in here.
Yeah, I've got the X-15 that NASA hid back, tucked away in the back. Very few people have ever seen it back there.
Oh, gotcha.
With the Batmobile and the Green Hornet car back there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Hidden back there as a parody.
Yeah. So it's always kind of neat to build into your model railroads, some little silly things here and there. And if some people see them, some people don't, but you usually get a laugh out of it. It's kind of neat.
But to my amazement, very few people have ever seen that.
Right. And then back in the background, you can see the Mount Royal Station.
Yes.
Which is in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes, which some folks have gotten upset that how dare you put it at a foothill. But I'm a freelance model railroader, and I do what I like, and I've always liked the station, so that was a perfect place. Why not? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the woman's prison you're coming up on.
Right.
It's a parody structure. That is the woman's prison. That's my wife. Cut off the head and put my wife's head up there. Yeah, that's my mother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
The woman by the hair there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Al's got very innovative here, in my opinion. Not only there, but he's put these structures, vertical structures, right into the rock face, and got a track feeding down there. So, a good use of space, really. I mean, you can fit another siding in there, another industry to switch.
Yep. And I can stage the cars. The shays can come out and drop log cars.
Oh, that's all part of the logging. Okay.
Yep.
So, and then Al's got another hotel going up the top here, and it'll have waterfalls down in the front. Excuse me.
Yeah, and the hotel is the sister hotel to the Deer Park Inns. It's the Oakland Inn that the B&O had back in Oakland, Maryland.
Oh, all right.
The Deer Creek Inns, the Deer Park Inns were in Deer Park, Maryland.
Okay.
And this hotel was for the middle class in Oakland.
Okay.
And not a board is left. It's vanished.
Completely gone. Okay.
Completely gone.
So, and it now has this huge town. Pugsburg.
Yes.
Which a lot of custom model railroad structures in here.
From Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yep. You could. I got to stand back really to get the whole thing in, but.
I've always wanted a circus, and I was with Howard, and we were at a state, and Howard found all these circus vehicles, And Howard said, I don't want these. And I said, well, I do, because I've always wanted to have a circus come into town.
There you go.
So eventually I'll have some grandstands and people
Oh, yeah, cool.
down the road seeing the circus.
Yeah, you see the Bromoseltzer Tower in Baltimore, but it's been transplanted here to Pugsville.
Yes, Pugsburg.
Pugsburg, sorry.
And then we have the American Brewery.
Yeah, yeah.
Transplanted
Downtown, yeah.
from downtown.
I drove past that many years going to work.
Yes. And in the back, I have a mock-up of the B&O station in Chicago
Oh, okay.
that is going to be the station here.
Yeah.
I've always loved the design of the station, so I'm going to compressively shrink it down a little bit.
Selective compression, yep, yep.
And some Pennsy people might take offense that Broadway Limited is actually tucked away inside that station. But again, here, the Pennsy and the B&O are not rivals on this layout.
There you go.
And since I love both, I have both.
So, panning on around here, layout, big log mill that he had. Harry Clark, he purchased this from Harry Clark, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And he built the whole layout around it.
Yeah, the whole layout was built around this. This is Cass, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get a steam engine ready to take off here. So, I mean, really, really detailed sawmill. I mean, just the amount of wood here in the waiting to be shipped out is pretty remarkable.
I've had people say to me, the wood stacks are unprototypically tall. And I have a book I could show you of casts that shows boxcars being dwarfed by the stacks of lumber.
Right, right.
And I cannot believe the recklessness of it. I mean, if a thunderstorm were to come through there, it'd be all hell break loose.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
they literally dwarfed boxcars.
So you see pretty remarkable, scenery and scratch-built structures. And this is representing the town of Cass,
Yes,
is it?
yes.
Cass, West Virginia. If you've never been there, you should go visit. They're a logging railroad. They have a lot of logging locomotives. They have Shays and Climaxes and Heislers, and just really, really neat place to visit. It's run by the state of West Virginia, but it's remarkable just to go and visit. You can actually rent one of the company houses there, which is pretty cool. Uh-oh.
I apologize, Fred. I forgot how loud these were.
Well, that's okay, but you left your coal train behind.
Yeah. Howard Zane weathered these.
Oh, okay.
And Jan Willard customized these are Riverossi.
Okay.
But they had terrible pickups. And after Jan Willard got done modifying them with bronze all-wheel drive sweep pickups, and Howard weathered them, they're as good looking as anything out there. And Keith Cole, our friend Keith,
Yeah.
he weathered every one of these coal cars.
Oh, really?
So they have real sentimental value to me. We traded services, and I forgot what I did for him. I think I made him an ice house, and in return, he weathered all these cars for me.
Yeah.
I love them. Let's get some speed. I like running long trains.
Oh, that's great. The disadvantage of my layout is because it's small. I can only run like 11-car trains. But I would love to run longer than that. But even the staging yards won't get any more longer than that. So, and if you go to Cash, you'll actually see the company store there, and the building behind it, the red building there to the side, and the station. I mean, that's an exact replica of it. It's really nice. I mean, you can go there and see that. Like I say. A lot of neat places to go out there. You can also, when you're in that area, visit the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad, and they're running C&O 2662 articulated locomotives.
Yeah, I think it's
Pretty
an
remarkable.
H5, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
H5, H6,
And
something
Bachman
like
for
that.
years sold. As a matter of fact, at your hobby shop, I think my friends bought those engines from you.
Okay, yeah.
From Bachman Spectrum.
Well, Bachman had them at the time, right? They're no longer in production, so we can get our coal train running by here. We're holding the passenger train for the coal train.
Yep, yep. That's a pretty cool shot.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The S-curve there going around through town.
I forgot where my other freight train is. I remember we were talking about that over Howard's.
But you know, Al's really done a remarkable job in this with this railroad. I guess, how long have you had it under construction?
We moved in 97.
97.
I
Okay.
started though in 85 building some of the town of Cass
Okay.
when I lived in a townhouse. And I just put the buildings away, hoping one day
You would have a place.
Right, I'd have a place. And those guys are going to exit
Right,
underneath
right.
the sewage treatment. That sewage treatment facilities, and kind of a tribute to Howard because it's called the Turtaway because Howard has a lot of
Turtle.
yeah.
Yes.
So I named this water treatment facility the Turtaway.
Oh, gotcha. Well, the plant, the Turtle plant,
Yes.
is close to my town on Howard's Land.
Yes.
I asked him why he put that there. He said, "No, that's miles away." Well, it doesn't
Miles
look like
away.
it. Yeah.
The Turtaway.
So.